Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 17th of September 2021. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's morning session where we're gonna have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website. And if you click here on the top, JFD Research, it'll take you to this page, which we update also on a daily basis. So yeah, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com. Now, okay, so. Yes, as Evu just mentioned in the chat room here, yes, weekend is closed, so I hope you're all prepared for that one, and I hope you had a fantastic trading week. So let's have a look at what's happening here with the markets now. Now Nikkei 225, as you can see, it kind of stayed here, and for the week, let's have a look at what's happening here. Yes, and for the week, it kind of remained slightly in the positive territory, but not much. This barrier here did provide good resistance. The highest point of February near the 30,715 level. And then, yes, we saw a bit of a drift back down, a little correction. However, as I said before, if it stays somewhere around here, somewhere actually before I had the level, let me just quickly put this one on the chart, before I had this level here on the chart. But either way, I mean, it remained above it. So yeah, for now, let's say we're still kind of on the positive side. However, if you want to be a little bit more careful, then you might just wait for a push above that 30,715 territory and then go for some higher levels. Because if it suddenly falls back below the 30,202 level here, which is the lowest point of this week, then yes, we could maybe see a bit of a larger correction here to the downside. Now Shanghai Composite still trading, but it's kind of flat for the day. Well, say roughly flat actually for the day, because you can see that it opened with a little gap here to the downside, so actually it's not really flat for the day. It's more on the negative side. However, it's forming this little doji here. Again, at this point here, this little doji doesn't mean that it could be a reversal signal. It could also be a continuation sign as well. So for now, I mean, what we can say here is that, first of all, we can see that this the index broke below this upside support line. This week I talked about this one, and what I said, that if this upside line does provide good support, then yes, we could see a nice rebound and a push higher. But if it fails and we see a break of this upside line, then yes, we could go for some lower levels. And as you can see right now, the index did drift lower, did drift further south, and yeah, let's see if we can actually continue drifting there in that direction, in the southern direction, and towards this upside support line taken from the low of the 28th of July. At the moment, like I said, it's leaning a little bit more towards the downside. We still have a few minutes left of trading here on this index. However, I believe that it might just stay like this, and basically it will show a negative week here for this index. We'll see how it goes next week, but I would say that if if it travels back above this hurdle, back above the 3,629 zone, then yes, we could go for some higher levels, and then we will take it from there, guys. Now German index DAX, and yeah, here you can see that the index did find resistance and continued to find resistance near this 15,755 level this week, and yep, near this 21-day EMA as well. So in a way, everything's kind of everything was kind of working out here perfectly for the sellers. And looking at the cash index right now, we'll see that the price is trying to climb back. It's near the 15,729 level, so basically above yesterday's close, but still below this hurdle. Now this is where it's going to be quite interesting to see if we can overcome this one. If we do, then my next target is this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 31st of August, and then we'll take it from there, guys. But at the moment, I would say that yes, if the this 15,755 level continues to provide resistance, then certainly we're not done with the downside. However, looking at this week's trading activity, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if today's daily candle is going to stay somewhere in the range of this week. So yeah. Again, be very careful. I mean, this week might have been one of those weeks where not much kind of fluctuation has been seen. So, but again, let's not rush into anything. Let's see how that's going to play out. NASDAQ 100. So NASDAQ 100 is pushing, or at least trying to push back up here. It, of course, certainly managed to get back and stay above that 21-day EMA. However, this 15,554 territory right here is doing its job and providing good resistance so far. If we clear that, then yes, we could go for some higher levels. The cash index right now is sitting at around 15,529 level, so slightly above yesterday's close, but still below this barrier. So if we clear that barrier, then yes, we'll go for some higher levels. But if we don't, well, we might maybe not be done with the downside. However, in order to get a little bit more excited with the downside, I would say maybe a drop below this 15,433 territory right here, which coincides with the 21-day EMA, might do the trick for a few more sellers. But we do have this obstacle, the lowest point of this week, near the 15,316 level, which could also provide a bit of support. However, if that gets broken, this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and well, I mean, we could start moving even further south. However, at the moment, the downside, I wouldn't say it's off the table, but I would say that it is a very tricky situation here. Now, the buyer, this is still looking attractive for the buyers, because again, we are back above the 21-day EMA. We're near this key resistance barrier, but let's go slowly on this one. Again, I don't want any surprises. Today's the last trading day of this week, so you know, and it's Friday, and we do sometimes get these crazy moves on Fridays. So be very careful, guys. Let's see how that's going to play out. For now, what I'm looking at here for the upside, I'm looking at for a push above the 15,554 territory. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 15,433 level. Now, the dollar index, DXY, so look at this beautiful move here. Yesterday, of course, the good data from the US did support this one and did allow it to move higher. We could still push further north today here, but again, I would say be very careful for now. Similar story as with one of the cryptos that I've mentioned yesterday. Maybe, just maybe, we could see here a head and shoulders pattern, but again, that's too early to talk about that. So first, let's aim for some higher levels, especially if it climbs back above the 92.86 territory right here. Now, in terms of the downside, well, actually, I would really prefer to see and wait for a drop below this upside line here, and then go for the downside. At the moment, it's like I said, it's a little bit of a difficult one here, so I will remain cautiously bullish, but only up until here somewhere, and then we'll take it from there up until the 93.18 level. Gold. Now, spectacular drop yesterday. I mean, it wasn't I mean, it did do its job. I mean, of course, it did kind of confirm somewhat of a head and shoulders pattern here, and you can see it broke the neckline near the 1780 zone, and well, it continued to drift lower, almost reaching that 1741 level. But yeah, it found support a little bit higher here, and now we're seeing a bit of a corrective move higher. Certainly here I would say it's a tricky one with gold. Although it's very attractive, be very careful, guys. I mean, we could see something like this happening where we could see a push higher, and then we could, well, and then if this downside line provides resistance, then another slide could be possible. Now, another thing that you can keep an eye on here is we could draw a Fibonacci, oh sorry, not that one, to apologize, there we go. We could draw a Fibonacci here, retracement, and see what's happening. So at the moment we're going towards that 38.2% retracement. So let me just adjust this a little bit very carefully. There we go. It's roughly around the 1765 territory, and again, even if we climb above it, we still have this this 50% retracement on the Fibonacci near the 1770 level. Again, let's see if this downside line, which coincides with kind of this level here with this 50% retracement on the Fibonacci, let's see if it reaches that. If it does, then yes, we'll keep a close eye on it, and if it provides good resistance, another slide could be possible. If it somehow manages to climb back above the 1780 territory, well, I mean, that could be a huge kind of disappointment for someone who was, let's say, buying yesterday, and yep, they got caught out in this little this kind of huge drop here, and yeah, this would be very, very tricky, and this would be one of those examples where the market kind of, well, where you need to be very careful with the market, because again, well, these things happen. I mean, unfortunately, that's part of the trading. But yeah, let's see how this speculation goes ahead today. But again, for now, yes, I'm aiming for that 38.2% retracement on the Fibonacci here. We're getting close already, so let's see if we can push towards that 50% retracement. Now, WTI oil. So yesterday failed to move a little bit higher here. Instead, drifted back down, but then remained kind of flat for the day, and now we're seeing a bit of a retracement. So maybe something like this here could be possible. Again, what I said to you before, that as long as it stays above this upside line, we're still going to remain bullish here on this commodity, and we will go higher. At the moment, yes, we're seeing a bit of a retracement, but again, don't rush into anything, guys. Wait for that perfect opportunity, and if you're looking for maybe the upside here in the near term, then wait for a push above the current highest point of this week near the 73.11. Now, Litecoin. So, as similar as with the DXY, I mean, maybe this one is forming somewhat of a head and shoulders pattern. However, again, until we get that break of the so-called neckline, we cannot really get comfortable with that idea so far. I mean, but for now, I mean, one part of the idea that I've mentioned this week is still working out. We're getting a hold up near this 191.73 territory, so we did overshoot it, but we kind of quickly drifted back down. So for now, what I'm gonna keep an eye on here is maybe for a bit of a drop lower, maybe if we fall below yesterday's low, then yes, I will go for this upside support line taken from the low of the 10th of August. AUDNZD, guys. So this one, jumping quickly into the pairs. I mean, look at this drift lower here. I mean, since kind of reversing in around the end of March, this pair has been drifting lower, then kind of steepened. The decline got steeper, and it started now drifting below this downside line here, taken from the high of the 13th of July. And now we're seeing here a bit of a corrective move higher after yesterday's after yesterday's kind of strong reversal here, a little bit higher. So for now, what I'm going to say here is that yes, we found support near the 1.0280 level. Are we due for a bit of a correction? Yes, we could be, because again, we are quite overstretched here to the downside. Don't get me wrong, I'm still targeting lower levels, but I would prefer, in order to aim for the downside, I would prefer to see a drop below this 1.0280, 7980 level here, and then go for the downside. Here for now I'm seeing a bit of a corrective move higher, so let's see if we can travel a little bit more to the upside. If we can, then gonna keep an eye on this little hurdle here, the 1.0346. That could be an interesting level, but again, I would say, guys, be very careful. If you want to aim for the upside, maybe at least wait for a push through this downside line taken from the high of the 13th of July. Now jumping into USDJPY, so still not much is happening here. We're still oscillating, so I'm gonna for now I'm gonna kind of keep an eye on it, and you can see that the pair might be coiling up here a little bit. So let me just adjust this very quickly. So we might be coiling up here a little bit. So again, guys, we need a confirmation break. We cannot really assume something right now, because it's really tight here. I mean, it could go either way, but just to simplify your life a little bit, like I said, keep your eyes on these two little trend lines. Tentative, of course, but nevertheless trend lines. USDCAD, now this one is a mess here, and this talk about a roller coaster ride here this week. Up, or should I say down, up, up, and then today we're seeing it down move again. However, given that the given that oil is kind of on a bit of a decline right now, if it continues to shift lower, then certainly USDCAD could push higher here, and in order to get a little bit more comfortable with the upside, probably wait for a push above the current highest point of this week near the 1.2709, and then yes, we could go for the upside. For now, it's a very tricky one, guys, here, so be very careful. USDCHF, look at the pop, and yesterday, of course, good news from the US came out, although initial jobless claims did not really, let's say, improve. The continuing jobless claims improved. Retail sales showed a huge spike to the upside, and yep, that gave a boost to the US dollar, and we saw this pair, for example, pushing nicely to the upside. And well, again, at the moment, I will say that look at this perfect hit of this 0.9275 level. I talked about this one. That was the high of the highest point of July, and this is where we stalled. And now the big question here is, can we see a further move a little higher? However, don't get me wrong, maybe a bit of a retracement here could be possible, but if it just reverses straight away through this 0.9275 level, then yes, higher levels could be met. GBPUSD, so this one's also stuck. We're still trading above this little short-term upside line taken from the low, the 23rd of August. However, again, if DXY starts pushing higher, the dollar index starts pushing higher, then, well, I mean, GBPUSD could fall off the cliff here and maybe end up testing the 200-day EMA near the, which is roughly around the 1.3790 level, right? 1.3730 zone right here, approximately around there again. If this upside line holds, certainly yes, this could still keep the bulls interested. However, for me, I would rather wait for a push through this barrier right here, this 1.3895, in order to get a little bit more comfortable with the upside. And finally, EURUSD. So yeah, the stronger dollar had its effect here on this pair, and as you can see, we drifted lower. We fell below this hurdle. We fell below this 1.1770 zone. We remained below it, and one thing I would need to get rid of right now here is this downside line, but I'm gonna recycle it. always recycle, guys. Yep, I'm gonna draw it this way. I'm gonna draw this little short-term tentative downside line, and I will say that if the pair continues to trade below it, then certainly yes, lower levels could be met. But for now, like I said, I'm keeping an eye on this 1.1770 level. If it stays below it, then I will aim for the downside, guys. For now, long story short, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside on this one. However, let's see how DXY is going to play out today. So guys, that's it for this session. I really hope you found it useful, and really thank you very much for all your views, your likes, your comments, guys, this week. So yep, and as always, so yep, really appreciate that. So I really hope you found it useful. Have a wonderful weekend. First of all, of course, before that, have a wonderful trading day today if you're trading. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. I'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.